I'm going to do a quick video today about becoming a finer version of yourself, a more understanding version of yourself, perhaps a more nuanced version of yourself, perhaps your higher self, perhaps the self that you always thought that you were destined to become. Something like that, right? Everybody has their own idea of what it would be. But to be able to get to the point where you truly understand what's going on inside of yourself, and so you kind of feel as if you've got more control, more leverage, more understanding, more opportunity, more possibility, more flexibility, more emotional control, all of these things and a million times more. Okay? So what are we talking about here? We're talking about a process of, I guess you'd call it maturation. I guess it's a case of understanding yourself and growing up with the process. So that rather than kind of identifying with all your thoughts and thinking that they're you and knowing everything with certainty about the world, instead you're able to take a little bit of a step back from yourself, okay, to appreciate that there are reasons why you think the way you do, okay? To consider the one who is doing the thinking, okay? So understanding that what you consider to be normal, that what you consider to be the rules of the world, the rules of life, the potential, the skills that you have yourself, the way that you interact with other people, your entirety as a perception, in actual fact, that there are reasons for all of that. So in so doing, it kind of brings a certain fluidity to that. Okay, so if you can understand that the reasons why your rule book about the world, the reasons about the stories which are running inside the mind, the reasons about the fixed ideas that keep you locked inside your current reality, if you can see that all of that has come from your understanding of life, your experience of life, and the ways that you have labeled and interpreted that from an age where, frankly, a lot of this was out of your control, where you kind of had to fit in with somebody else's system. And you can start to understand the history of the conclusions that you have come to over all that time that have compounded and compounded, compounded and compounded to lead you to the present moment where you think you know yourself, where you feel like you, where your thoughts are you. And what I'm talking about is kind of setting yourself free from that. Once you can appreciate that all of that that thinks and feels like you, that seem to be absolute constant truths in your life, have all been created based around your experiences and the conclusions that you've come to from an age where you can't even remember them, right the way up to a split second ago, and that all of these have been leading you to the current understanding that you have right now. Well, suddenly what you understand is that perhaps things aren't necessarily so, because all of those conclusions that you've come to have occurred based around your reaction to chance occurrences in life. And had you had different chance occurrences in life, perhaps you would have come to different reactions, to different understandings, to different fixed ideas. So it's an amazing thing, in actual fact, when you consider the person who is doing the thinking. You're kind of considering what you are as the self, as the person behind the thinking. And I talk about it as becoming a person, as growing up, as understanding yourself. But the process is more like undefining yourself. It's stripping away the substance by which you maintain your current understanding of reality and asking, is that necessarily true? Or was that a conclusion that I came to at a time in my life when I kind of had no choice, you know? I kind of got thrust into a situation and had to deal with it. Whether that be at birth, at 1 year old, at 20-year-old, all the way up to yesterday, because all of the circumstances, if we're running on our rails and we're coming to conclusions which feel like how we felt yesterday, we tend to compound what it is that we already think about ourselves. And so when you really, really take a step back and start to consider, where do these ideas come from? What are these thoughts? What is the difference between you and your thoughts? Then you have a sense of expansion. You have a sense of disentangling yourself from your thoughts, of being able to relativize your thoughts, of being able to put some context around your set of understandings and kind of free yourself from those thoughts, okay? So they might still be correct. I'm not saying that those thoughts are incorrect, but that they might not be the whole story. And so you're presenting yourself with a widened opportunity set in so doing. That's a tremendously freeing experience. It's a tremendously expanding experience. Once you can take that step, what you're doing is you're then able to look at your conclusions, to look at your thoughts and think, is that true? Or is that just how I've been thinking in the past? And what is that based around? And therefore, should I continue to think in that way? Or might it be useful to consider different evidence in the light of what I'm experiencing? Yeah? So you're able then to take a step back, to respond rather than to react, and therefore to act differently. And the whole purpose of becoming a person is that by giving yourself that sense of flexibility, by doing things differently, you then compound this understanding that, I was maintaining myself in that fixed idea by carrying on doing the things that I was doing. And every time you do something different, you get feedback, you get a nuanced response, you get something different, which is information, which leads you to different conclusions, which allows you to continue doing different things, and so on and so on and so on. And so you get the spiral of life. It's a fantastic experience. If this is of interest, okay, as I said, this is just a quick video, but I've got a couple of other videos which are on the same subject, but much longer, much more nuanced. So I'll kind of put those up somewhere on the screen and you can have a look. All right, thanks for watching. Cheers, bye.